Hey everybody, welcome to Old Roommates. Today on the show, we revisit 3 Amigos. So put on a sombrero and a flashy black bedazzled outfit and have a seat.
Welcome, everyone, to Old Roommates, the only podcast that revisits pop culture through a middle-aged lens. This is Christina.
And this is Brian.
And we are revisiting today 3 Amigos. Steve Martin, Martin Short, Chevy Chase.
What could possibly go wrong?
Right? What could possibly go wrong? I mean, stellar cast.
Directed by John Landis, written by Steve Martin and Lorne Michaels and Randy Newman.
I noticed that.
Yeah. Most of the songs.
Yeah, of course. But that's very interesting. So, Brian.
Yeah.
I don't dare stray from the...
Thank you. Format.
The structure of our podcast. What are your then thoughts
1980s,
of 3 Amigos?
1986. I believe I saw this in a movie theater.
Wow.
I believe I did. And I believe I was just ruining the day I ever watched it. Because I love Steve Martin. I love Chevy Chase. I don't think I was super familiar with Martin Short, to be honest. But I knew the pedigree of this movie. Mm-hmm. And even being 14, I was like, oh yeah, I know this will be a hilarious thing.
Right. Well, how could it not
Now,
be?
I want to say something. I remember laughing so hard at when they killed the invisible swordsman.
Oh God, that is a classic scene.
And that singing bush. But that is like 3 minutes of this movie. Now, but I would say it was probably one of my least favorite comedy experiences in a movie theater.
Interesting.
I didn't really like. I found it so boring, and I found it like more of a Western than a comedy. It just and I don't like Westerns,
right?
Historically. So that's my notes. Christina, how about you for then?
Well, funny enough, so I did not see this in the movies.
Okay.
I rented it. Not sure exactly when. Probably easily 30 years ago. But to me, actually, I didn't hate it. I actually thought it was amusing. I thought it was funny.
Okay.
I remember laughing at many parts of it. I don't know if I've ever seen it again. Like, it wasn't like, oh my gosh, amazing, funny comedy. But I remember being amused by it. I remember liking it. And finding some of the scenes very entertaining. Like the invisible swordsman. And the camping scene with the animals singing. I found that funny. Yeah, for some reason, I when I was thinking about revisiting this, I'm like, oh yeah, that'll be funny to watch. That'd be good. Like, that'd be cute. So yeah, I didn't hate it, but I never felt the need to rewatch it.
No, I haven't seen it since 1986. Maybe I saw it once on VHS with a friend or something. That was
I
like
feel
they
like
wanted
it was
to
like
see
on
it.
HBO a lot.
Probably.
Yeah, it was like seemed to be on. But I also was not very disappointed either, which surprises me because I am a huge fan of Steve Martin. Chevy Chase, I could always take or leave. And Martin's Short, I never really liked. But back then, I didn't know much about him.
Right,
he was so young.
Yes, he was.
Oh my, like a kid.
Yeah.
I was shocked. But yeah, I didn't have really much of an opinion back then. Since then, I have not liked him. But, what about...
Well, really quick, though. Do you watch on Hulu Only Murders in the Building?
Yes.
How good is he in that?
Amazing.
Is it Martin Short? He'll probably win an Emmy for that. He's so good at that.
Yes, it's a really, really good show.
So let's dive into now. And my first note is Philip E. Hartman. Phil Hartman and John Lovitz. And I hate to say this, I just got a little chill, truly. Like, I almost forgot how amazing Phil Hartman was.
Ugh.
And he's not even in the credit. He's in the end credits. He's not in the beginning. And he has as much time as John Lovitz.
He does.
But John Lovitz is in the credits. And by the way, in the credits, it's Philip E. Hartman with 2 N's.
Isn't that interesting?
Isn't that so strange? So, and I don't know, I'm trying to remember when Phil joined SNL, but like this is Lorne Michaels written,
right.
Lorne Michaels produced
so
this
I wonder
too.
if it was before or after.
I don't know.
As a cast member.
Well, I think it was, it wouldn't have been after. This is 86, and I know Phil Hartman was like in it for the 80s, early 90s. But that was my first note, and just how funny he was with not much to do.
He was,
but I was like,
an amazing comedian.
Yeah.
He really was. I remember when he had that tragic death. It really, not many celebrity deaths affect me, but that one did.
Yeah.
That
well,
one
it was shocking.
Shocking, tragic, sad. And gee, he was just such a wonderful talent and brought so much joy and laughter to people. And for him to had his life ended that way was just horrific. Ugh.
Way to bring it down.
I was just going to tell you, way to bring it down.
No, I'm just saying I forgot how funny he was. I didn't talk about his death. So right off the bat, this movie annoyed me on rewatch because it's like the bird call scene. Mm-hmm. Did you like that?
No, I did not.
Not at all. Not funny at all.
No.
Steve Martin is trying to get the attention of Chevy Chase and Martin Short's characters by doing bird calls, and they're not. Their job is to listen for these calls, and they're not catching it.
Yeah.
So because that sets up a certain type of humor, meaning a stupid one, like they're stupid. So, but it doesn't see it through. So then what's the humor style? Is it slapstick? Is it funny dialogue? Is it spoof? Is it parody? Because later on, like there's actually a funny line where Martin Short, they get to the town and they check in and they're like, oh, we're here, or not check in, but they're like, oh, we'd like your nice a hotel. And the guy's like, we don't have a hotel. And Martin Short says, no hotel. I could kill someone. But they think they're like these evil marauders,
Right.
And I actually laughed out loud. And I just wish there was more of that type of humor.
Yes.
Like, I wish these guys, these movie stars that were very high on themselves in that first scene, it's never carried through.
There's never carried through.
There's 2. It's the hotel comment, and then Chevy Chase later on says, did you happen to see oh, God, what was it? And I did laugh at that.
When he was eating the Mexican food and he wanted something other than Mexican?
Damn it, no, it was, oh, shit. Damn it all. Oh my
You'll
God,
get it. You'll get to it.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Christina, go for it.
So, I'm going to be honest with you on this one for a change. Just kidding. I found it extremely difficult to stay awake during this movie.
Holy shit.
This has not happened to me in any of these
Now, when did you watch it at night?
Friday night.
Okay.
So, I watch a lot of my movies on Friday night. Usually I'm all right.
Yeah.
It was a long day. I will give you that. Yeah. But there was nothing on that screen that was, like, speaking to me. Yeah. Like, making me want to stay awake for it. Everything was so boring to me.
It's so boring.
And it was, oh my gosh, I was so disappointed. And you're absolutely right about the style of the humor. So, the scene that first made me chuckle was when they are standing outside and they don't know, what they're going to do. They were just basically fired. Mm-hmm. And then the guy comes up with a telegram.
Yeah.
Oh, telegram for the 3 Amigos.
Yeah.
That made me chuckle. And it's like what you're saying. If they kept that type of humor throughout, there's a handful of those moments.
Yeah.
It reminded me a little bit of not Better Off Dead, One Crazy Summer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Where it was like, what humor are you doing? It's like you're testing all different types of humor in this movie, and the audience doesn't know where the tone is here.
But so like I remember that certain shows like 30 Rock used to do that. They threw everything at the screen. They didn't care. There was funny dialogue. There were funny scenes. There were sight gags, like slapstick and all that, and it worked because it was all felt smart.
Yes.
And this movie, I feel like it's like it doesn't know what kind of comedy it is. And so I found the other line. So it says, and I did laugh, but it was like, El Guapo has taken everything. And they had just stayed in that house.
Yeah.
And so Dusty says, everything. Did you ever see a pair of cufflinks in there?
Oh, yeah.
But here's the thing.
Yes.
But Lucky...
But that's true to his personality.
Where was that? Where was the rest of that? Like, it ties into the no hotel thing. It ties into their snobbery in the beginning.
Yes.
I was kind of hoping for like a Schitt's Creek kind of thing.
Sure.
Like a fish out of water. Like, where... I don't understand. Where, where's... whatever. Craft services. Like, there's supposed to be stars on a set and a performance. Oh, where's my makeup person? Like, that would have been so great. They could have kept that going. Like that. They didn't do it. So then it's like, then Dusty says, "Did you happen to see a pair of cufflinks?" And I don't know if you remember this. The next line is Lucky. Lucky, played by Steve Martin, says, "Dusty." Like, he reprimands him, and I was like. So now, and I wrote down, the movie itself is stopping itself from being funny.
Right.
Because now it's like, oh shit, she was kidnapped. I really struggled with this movie.
Yes.
I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
And the little... I did laugh. I'm going to backtrack a little. I'm just going to say the things that made me laugh. Because, and it truly, like, out loud. When the little kid is talking to him and talking to the three amigos, and I think it's Dusty, Chevy Chase, and he shows him the watch, and he's like... The little kid's like, "Can I have your watch when you are dead?"
Yeah.
But I wrote down, the tone is so off. The burning of the town. Blowing up a church.
Yes.
Kidnapping
Were you
Carmen.
surprised
Oh my
at
God,
how
yes.
violent it was?
It was so violent.
For alleged comedy?
A PG... Because then, right after that, right after all the craziness, there's Martin Short, there's Ned Netterman, sitting on the steps. And he's talking about meeting Dorothy Gish, the sister of Lillian Gish. Yes. And he's talking to the kids. And although I have to say, I don't know if Carl said this. I think he's like, "Brandon, it's like you."
Oh my God!
Telling the little kids a story on the staircase.
I could totally see that.
But like something that only you care about. he's like, and then the story ends, and he's like, "And she said to me, kid, you got it. You got it." It's like I remember like it was yesterday. True story. It's a true story. And the kids are just like looking at him like, what? And I would bet that's ad-libbed. And it was so funny and stupid. And I'm like, where's that character?
Yes. I 100% agree. I think that is 100% what was missing was the outrageousness of their characters.
Yeah. Yeah. It's suddenly, you know what happened? It's like they realized, the characters realized what was going on, and they changed. That's the problem. They shouldn't have changed.
They shouldn't have changed.
They shouldn't think, oh God, this is real. Get me out of here. And
they
realized
changed
they
even before they knew what was happening, though.
True.
As soon as they went
to the... So.
But you're right, though. I mean, they should never have changed from that first scene with them.
Yeah. Because their attitude was, we're stars. Why don't people appreciate the stars that we are?
I love that comment you said about the craft services. Like, where are the craft services? Where's makeup?
Yeah.
That's right, because they would have been looking for that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's right.
Yeah.
100% right.
The talking turtle, which you called out in the campsite, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're going to do that, then make it more ridiculous. If you are now incorporating, and I mean honestly, I remember that scene, and I was like, oh wait, did they smoke weed or something before that? And no, they didn't, and they don't. And it's like, but so if you're going to do that, because then that opens up a different kind of comedy. Mm-hmm. Then why aren't all the animals singing?
Well, they were eventually.
Yeah, very end. But the turtle looks out. He's like, good night. They're all saying good night, good night, good night. And the turtle's like, good night, Ned. Yeah. But it's like, it's fine, but nothing else. Why aren't the horses talking? Like, I mean, just like, right. I mean.
You know what would have been cute? Well, it would have been cute if it was, two things. If it was just the turtle at the end, without even the singing and stuff, but just at the very end, the turtle just says, good night, Ned. Yeah. Like, without the singing or anything. That would have been cute. Or what you're saying is, so they're inexperienced campers, right? Mm-hmm. What if they just found a neighborly, bush and grabbed some of that to to burn, and it was like
Right.
peyote or something,
Yeah.
right? Like that makes sense
That would
to
have
me.
been funny.
That would have been pretty funny. Yeah.
The movie doesn't even take advantage of the fish out of the water idea at all.
It really doesn't. And so what it reminded me of when I was watching it, I'm like, why do I not like this movie so much? Aside from the obvious. But it reminded me almost of, it's like they're trying to be a parody of Blazing Saddles, which is already a parody of a Western. So it's not even like they're trying to be a parody of a Western. It's trying to be a parody of a parody.
Yeah.
And it's not funny.
It's so funny you called it Blazing Saddles because there are scenes where I'm like, wait, when does that scene happen? I'm like, oh god, that was Blazing Saddles.
Right.
Like I was giving this movie credit for being funnier because I was misremembering what movie it was. Yeah. I will say some other things that did make me laugh. The canteens. I do remember laughing as a kid.
Oh yes, that was funny.
He's like water. He's spitting the water out.
And then he throws it.
Throws the can dripping. Very funny. I wish there was more stuff like that.
Yes.
The killing of the invisible swordsman will never not be funny.
That
and then he says he's like he's dead all right and drops hand in the hand
good.
in like the dust.
And you know what I also loved about that scene? It was just a little something. But it would have annoyed me. The singing bush. So the singing bush is so obnoxious. Just singing obnoxious songs over and over and over and over again. I think in another movie, as the search for, the invisible man, I think the singing bush would have faded out into the background and you wouldn't have heard him eventually. But in this movie, it kept going and going and going. And it was just as obnoxious as in the beginning of the scene. And I appreciated that.
Me too.
Yeah. I appreciate that.
I wish there was more distance between those things. Because they're really like kind of moments for this movie, and they share a scene. Like that was a bad idea.
It was weird.
Like, it could have been very funny, like to have the singing bush at one place and then the invisible swordsman 5 minutes, 10 minutes later. You know.
Right.
Anyway, I laughed when Lucky swings. Lucky swings into the dirt. So like Martin Short like swings and gets stuck on the piñata.
Oh yeah.
Whatever. And I did laugh when because I'm like, wait, one of them doesn't make it, and he just lands right dead in the dirt. That was funny.
Yeah.
But here's a wasted moment. This really annoyed me for a couple of reasons. One, so it's Dusty swings and he crashes into where Carmen's being held captive, right?
Yes.
And he crashes into the closet and the door's closed, the cupboard.
Yeah.
The guy who's holding Carmen, one of the guys who's like holding Carmen hostage, walks in and he's like, "What was that noise?" Do you remember what she says?
What'd she say?
"I don't know."
Oh,
I'm like, that's lazy writing.
Yeah.
What if she said, "I farted"? What if she said, like just something? Oh, like what else? Oh, I was getting undressed. I dropped my shoe. Really? I don't know.
Yeah, that's dumb.
Lazy writing.
Yeah.
Lazy. Oh my god, I did laugh though. Lucky is chained to the wall, Steve Martin.
Yes.
And the guys leave. And he says, "So do I just wait here then?"
Yeah. What I love too. That is, yep.
I probably would have asked that same question.
Yes.
Okay. It's never clear why they didn't, 1 hour and 25 minutes in, why didn't they just kill El Guapo? They had guns.
They had guns.
They had him. They ended up like, what did they do? They just ran away. Like, they sort of closed him off and ran away. It's like, they could have at least tied him up, and they didn't even tie him up.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't understand what, they could start running again?
I don't know.
They brought danger to this town. They could have ended it right then and there. They could have just killed him, or tied him up, or called
Did something. Call the police. Call the sheriff.
Yeah.
Or something. I laughed at the beginning of the movie when, not the beginning, like the middle, when they had that realization. So when they're doing the scene, they're going around on their horses,
Yeah.
And then they shoot.
In the arm.
In the arm.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I've been shot. Like, and then they realize it, and they all start like kind of crying when they're talking. That made me laugh. And they're like, "Oh, this isn't real." And then they're talking a little bit, and they're saying, what are we going to do? And, whatever. And, so Lucky says, "Oh, well, I've been shot already." And then I think it was Ned says, well, we're not going to get paid, that's for sure. Like, just that kind of conversation between them, that made me laugh. I really liked that.
Yeah.
What else?
I wrote one thing. It's very unimaginative deaths. They were also like typical Western, like someone getting shot and falling off of the edge of a building. Like that's all the typical Western deaths. Like there's nothing interesting. Like I kept thinking of like The Naked Gun when O.J. Simpson's characters he burns his hand on the stove. He falls into a cake. He falls over the side. Like it's like that. Like this is a prime opportunity to do some more like imaginative.
Yeah, but I wonder,
Western deaths.
My wondering was that they did that on purpose because it is supposed to be a Western. Like,
oh, because it's real.
Do you know what? Like, it's supposed to be a Western.
Bad. It's bad.
I think they could have, at one point in time, just like erased everything they wrote and started from scratch with new eyes and new ideas.
I think they could have let them do some more improv-y stuff. Like, I laughed out loud when when Ned walks over to that old woman and he's like, so, they're like, she's making outfits. You don't know what they're making, but they're making outfits. And he's like, so, old one. So like the wind! But that is a credit to Martin Short, not this movie.
Agreed.
You know what I mean? That's what I mean. Like all these like little things they were talking about and they were laughing about, that is not the movie. That is the actor. That is the performance.
Exactly. I think you're absolutely right. Go on.
That's all my notes.
That's all my notes too, Brian.
Let's take a little break. I have some trivia and we have our questions. But should we take a little break and come back?
Let's take a little break and come back.
Because we haven't even talked about if we liked it more or less or about the same. So we're going to take a break. Okay. We'll come back with a lot more to say.
I hope. Be right back.
Hey there, it's Brian.
And Christina.
And we have some exciting news. We now have bonus content on Patreon.
If you're a fan of old roommates or simply enjoy revisiting pop culture, we would love for you to check out our page at patreon.com/oldroommates. Patrons of Old Roommates can expect exclusive content such as special episodes, movie recommendations, special videos from us, and bonus content among other things. Your support will help us to create more content, offset publishing costs, and expand our resources to improve your listening experience.
Whether you become a patron or not, we appreciate your support. Drop us a comment on social media, give us a rating or review on your podcast app of choice, or send us a message at oldroommatespod@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. Thank you for listening, and now, back to the show. And we're back talking about Three Amigos. We actually can't stop talking about it, it seems, because we were talking all through our little break.
I know.
So we stopped talking to go back to the episode.
Yes.
Christina, you revealed something. I think it's important. You didn't want to say it. But
I didn't. Well, yeah. So I will say I fell asleep several times during this. And it's awful. I know. It's terrible. But it just was not holding my attention.
And the reason why that's important is, like, to your point, this is what, our almost 120th episode? Whatever
Something
it is.
like that, yeah.
But has that ever happened to you before?
Never.
We have watched movies that are like 2.5 hours long. It's never happened.
Yes, in bad movies that are 2.5 hours long.
So Christina and I were talking quickly during the break, and I wanted us to reveal this. It's important, because even for me, I was so bored that usually I wait for the movie to be completely over before I start doing like little trivia, like box office stuff. And this time, I'm like, oh my God. It was so boring that I started doing trivia, looking up the trivia before the movie's even over. And that's
so
bad. Bad sign.
And I'm a big fan of Steve Martin. Usually I can't get enough of him. But boy, I fell asleep a little bit at the beginning. In the middle, I know I drifted off a little bit because poor Matt was just like, honey, are you awake? I'm like, yeah. And then even towards the end, like I did wake up for like the ending and all that. But I fell asleep for a few minutes several times. Wow. So, yes, it speaks a lot. I do have a note that I noticed in my notes, my very short pile of notes.
Sure.
Did you ever see Galaxy Quest?
Yeah, I wasn't crazy about it.
See, I liked that movie. And when I was watching this, I felt like they I felt like Galaxy Quest did it right.
Okay.
In terms of, it's the same premise.
Mm-hmm.
They're actors, and they get pulled into this, like, thing where the other people think that they're real, and they all of a sudden, in the middle of it, realize, oh shit, this is real. I felt like Galaxy Quest did it right.
Okay.
And I think part of that is because they did stay in character the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
They were the same people. And this movie did not do that. And the whole time I was looking, I'm like, boy, you know, I wish they had, and I don't know who was first. I think Three Amigos was probably first.
Oh, yeah. Galaxy Quest was like the 90s.
Was that 90s?
Yeah.
So I just felt like Galaxy Quest did it right.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of that transition from actor to, reality or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I kept thinking about that.
And
I enjoyed the Little Buttercup song. I know it was goofy, but I really enjoyed it.
So we're fostering a carry now. I am singing My Little Buttercup to him. I swear to God. I kept singing it.
Oh my God.
But again, that's nothing to do with the movie.
It was their performances.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
The dance was hilarious. Yep. And I loved the reactions of everybody. And even when they like doing the audience participation, they're like afraid of
oh my God. That's what I mean. So it's like, I think the movie let it down. It wasn't enough. It was like, and I have a little bit of trivia as to why that may have happened. Mm-hmm. So John Landis directed this movie. And do you remember the awful tragedy of John Landis with the Twilight Zone movie? So they moved this movie to the Twilight Zone.
Yes.
This is all Googleable. If I am wrong about any of it, please let me know. This, to the best of my ability of remembering, this is what went down. John Landis directed Twilight Zone the movie. At least certainly this part of it, where a helicopter was going to be landing in the water during a scene. And the helicopter, because John Landis allegedly did not follow a number of safety precautions, the helicopter crashed, beheaded actor Vic Morrow, who is the father of Jennifer Jason Leigh.
Oh my God.
And one of the child actors.
Unbelievable.
The helicopter landed on the other child.
Oh,
The three of them died. There was a huge lawsuit because a lot of safety protocols were not followed. And John Landis was on trial for this. Landis and Falsey was an associate producer on Three Amigos. On Twilight Zone the movie, and a producer on Three Amigos. Because John Landis and Falsey were involved in this case, they kept being pulled away. Mm-hmm. So at one point, the studio had to step in and edit this film. And I wonder if there is a much funnier version of the Three Amigos lying on the cutting room floor somewhere.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Because it couldn't be, because somewhere along the line it became a Western, like a straight Western, and it shouldn't have been, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
Chevy Chase called this movie the most fun he has ever had making a movie.
That's pretty sad.
Well, no, but they're fun guys.
Chevy.
But here's the thing. Chevy Chase and John Landis got into a fight on the set because Chevy Chase didn't want to do a particular line. He didn't want to say a line. And finally, John Landis goes, fine. Hey, Martin Short, I'll give Martin a line. And Chevy is like, fine, I'll do it.
Oh, my God.
But that's Chevy Chase. Roger Ebert gave this movie 1 star. Many critics ripped it apart. I remember being 14. I remember this vividly, that critics despised this movie.
All right, so we're not that far off.
But I want to say, before we get to our questions,
sure,
we're going to be partaking in some of the worst, because there's nothing worse than a bad comedy. Would you agree?
There's nothing worse.
And Christina and I are both individually not discussing it. We are going to pick our least favorite, our most hated comedy of all time.
Yes.
Let's maybe pick the 80s. Would that be fun?
Well, I thought we already...
Oh, we already have. Sorry, yeah. Stop. Well, I don't know what you've said. That's why. So I shouldn't change it because mine's 80s.
So go to the Patreon page.
Yes.
They are posted. They're videos.
That's right.
Of us talking about our least favorite comedies of all time.
Right.
So go and see what you think, and if you agree, feel free to comment. If you don't agree, feel free to comment.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. So, and just speaking of Patreon, just before we get any further, we have a lot of content on there. If you have not already seen it, I know you may not be listening to all of our episodes, so you may not know of a lot of the information that we have up there.
Good point.
We have, readings from my book, a reading from my book. We have Bon Jovi, bonus episodes of Bon Jovi.
Good times.
Including, and Good Times. Yeah. We have a poll for Bon Jovi. We have a wine tasting video from Brian and myself from our French Kiss movie in honor of our French Kiss. We also have some movie recommendations from Halloween movie recommendations, and we have just so much going on.
There's a lot
over
on
at
there.
That page. So please go visit and check it out. It's super, super fun stuff. And and then we also have these videos that we just did today. That we posted today about our worst comedy of all time.
But first, our questions. I have a match game.
I have...
We probably did an FMK.
Here's the thing. I have...
the obvious FMK. Yeah.
Right. Well, that's what I was saying. I have a question... it's not a great question, but I figure, I could either do this or an FMK,
Mm-hmm.
but I think I'll just do the stupid question.
Okay.
It's just not that great. So here's the big setup.
Okay.
All right, so you want to do mine first?
Yeah,
Might
sure.
as well, right? All right, so Chevy Chase, Martin Short, and Steve Martin are making a new Three Amigos today. Okay? The problem is that they're so old that instead of horses... they need blank.
This is a match game.
Oh my god, it is a match game. Oh my god.
Oh my god, it's a match game. That's awesome, though. All right.
Oh my god, I'm sorry.
All right, here we go.
Okay, so yeah, instead of horses, they need blank.
Okay.
Lots of things all over the place.
Ding.
All right. Why can't I?
Ding dong.
All right, ding for me too. Okay.
I think we got it.
I don't know what else it could be. That's why it's too bad.
Right.
Okay, so yeah, they're so old. They're remaking, but they're so old. They are not using horses. They are using
wheelchairs. Yay!
Yeah, what else would it be, right?
Well, I was thinking walker, to be honest.
Oh,
but
you don't
really ride a walker. That's the thing.
No, you
So
don't. But I was also thinking of some sort of like hobby horse or something like that.
Oh, that's cute.
Which would have been cute, but wheelchairs is the answer.
All right, here's mine. It's a match game as well.
Okay.
Gee, Christina, the Three Amigos are pretty dumb.
How dumb are they?
Thank you for asking. When the prostitutes of Santo Poco told them they wanted to practice safe sex, the Amigos brought blank.
Oh, boy. Come on, I actually have
You're
a
at
blank.
a blank?
I have a blank.
Because they're pretty dumb.
They are pretty dumb.
Safe sex. All right. Ding.
Dang. Sorry it took so long.
It's all right. Christina, they're pretty dumb. They were told to practice safe sex, and they brought blank.
They brought caution tape.
That's a good one. I thought you were going to say guns.
Oh.
But I have...
What's safe about guns?
No, because to be safe, from the El Guapos, and they had guns everywhere. But
opposite of safe.
I kept it in the movie world, and I did stunt doubles.
Oh, that's good too. I love
that.
that.
Pretty funny. Safe.
Very good.
Safe.
I love it.
Oh my gosh,
awesome.
That was the Three Amigos.
Oh my gosh. That was the Three Amigos. Bye-bye, Three Amigos.
Adios, Three Amigos.
And that's it for us in this episode of Old Roommates. Thanks for listening. Please subscribe to Old Roommates on iTunes, YouTube, or wherever you listen to podcasts. And please give us a rating or review while you're there.
And if you're interested in more Old Roommates, including special episodes, bonus content, movie recommendations, and more, visit our Patreon page at patreon.com. That's patreon.com/oldroommates. Comments and ideas can be emailed to us at oldroommatespod@gmail.com. And don't forget to follow us on social media at Old Roommates.
Thanks again for listening. This is Christina.
And this is Brian. Until next time.